Hey guys, my name is Julia and I'm the creator of the channel. Today we will discuss the story you sent me. If you like the content, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment down below. So let's start it.
My world collapsed when I found out who my wife was cheating on me with in my office. Well, life is kind of insane. I don't think I could even make this up. Backstory: ex-wife cheated with coworker friend while all three of us worked together. She had moved on to a new job in 2016, but affair continued off and on apparently. D-Day was September 2018. Worked with him for 1 month after D-Day because I had to find a new job. Started at a new company in same industry. AP was fired and rehired at old company, and he is currently management. X recently attempted ending and has been released for the time being. She is with her parents 10 hours away. I have both kids with me full-time. I still feel a lot of anger to the AP due to his need to be a complete a-hole and brag to me about the deeds done and use me to cover his work. Yesterday, I got a call into the office before I left for the field and heard some news. My manager, who is aware of some of my story, called me in and told me that my current company had just bought my old company. Old company was working in a specialized role in our field of work my current company wants to get into. He asked me who I think they should retain with a grin. He put a strong emphasis on the need for strong moral character. The current owner of the old company, who actually has been a great help as he has been through something similar with his ex, has agreed to keep it silent until my company makes any decisions. He actually might have suggested this. He doesn't like the AP, but he needed his experience. The boss has offered me the opportunity to hand the AP his notice of termination. 2 conditions. I have to do it with himself and another manager there. I am 6 foot, 220 pounds, and it's not a lot of fat. These days, AP is 5'9" and 160 pounds. Managers are both the same size as me. They are aware of my anger issues, as I have been honest about my life, as it was showing through my work during the initial months, and the fact that I attended some anger management classes with another coworker. In no uncertain terms, they made it clear I should not engage. But if AP is hostile, he will step in. Less legal bullcrap, he says, if he defends an employee. Personally, I think he understands my anger and doesn't want me to give in to it. I've never felt this level of hatred as I do for this guy. I'm over the sleeping with my wife. It's his need to mock me like he did that I have the biggest problem with. That, and even though he understands that he ruins marriages and lives, he is still trying to have other affairs. The other condition, since the original owner is moving south and the supervisor is to be terminated, I have to help the company transition over until a new supervisor manager can be picked, as I know the most about both companies. He said provided everything goes well, I will get a raise and the opportunity to make this full-time. Wait, Karma? Karma? Is that you? Damn, I missed you. I'm not sure if I will take up the offer to hand him his papers, but petty or not, I think this is a big old spoonful of karma. I was all smiles today. Friday at 7 a.m., I decided I get to walk into the meeting at the old company and hand him his termination in front of all my old coworkers, who are aware of what went on. Reason for dismissal? Moral character does not meet company standards, as the work we do requires honesty and integrity. Certification of measurement devices that see millions of dollars of product pass through regularly is funny like that. Old boss and new boss have both been through what I have, and they have both heard part of the stories about the AP bragging to me about how he did it with her in his office. New building, old office is sold. Using me to cover his work while they were off doing their thing, and numerous other complete a-hole moments. They seem to think that karma is important on this occasion, and wanted to maybe help me put a little closure on it. The reality is, new boss knew we couldn't work together. Things would get too hostile. I am still working on anger management for myself, and he is pretty upset that I did such horrible things as tell his wife and everyone just what kind of person he is. Apparently, I should never have said anything because I owed him that. Still trying to figure out how I owed him, but okay. Do I feel bad about this? Not overly. Fact of the matter is he padded his hours, stole equipment. Police will be stopping by to ensure all property was returned. Half-assed his work and drinks at work regularly. He recently tried to start another affair with a new safety consultant. However, I may have informed her husband about what a stellar guy he is after one of the old guys mentioned it. He was left in charge largely because the owner was stepping back and retiring, and no one else knew the systems like he did. I was the next closest, but at the time had no desire to stay on. Movies were a little too vivid in my head when I was in the office at the old building. I imagine his wife will be pissed, as in my opinion, she was much more concerned with the standard of living rather than anything else. After all, they were both forgiven 2 days after she found out. Call me petty, but damn, I feel pretty good right now. Update. Well, today has been a bit of an interesting day to say the least. I honestly have been on the go all day. Just got back from a celebratory dinner with my old coworkers. I have had a beverage or two, so excuse the spelling, etc. 7 a.m. we go inside the office. The meeting is currently going on in the shop. In the office is one of the data entry ladies. She sees me and says, "Oh, frick, yes, going to Snap. This will be good." He wasn't well liked before, now even less so. He knew the customers and he knew the system. He was good with those things. Almost every employee now has zero respect for him now, is the way I'm told. Myself, I was well liked, quick to give a hand and always giving it my all. I was quick to help people learn and tried to be a good father. When I started, I was a single father raising my oldest. I gave my all for that little girl. A lot of people had respect for me because of that. I did my best to be a good person. I tried to surround myself with good people. Apparently, I need to work on this some more. Shortly after the door opens and the current owner waves us in, I walk through the door and hear laughter. Couple guys smiling, saying, "Hell yeah," and him standing up and saying, "You got to be kidding me, no way." He goes toward the back of the shop and starts to pace, glaring at me. My current manager introduces us all, myself last. He talks briefly about the purchase and what it all entails. He then goes on to talk about the importance of ethics and morals in our industry. You can hear him swearing. He ends his talk about ethics by saying, at the end of the day, the only thing that means we actually did the work is the signature we put on the bottom. And if your name is attached to bad ethics, horrible moral character, then frankly, it was time to perhaps either change your name or change your choices. AP has had enough. He starts walking to the door screaming at me to go screw off in very colorful ways. The current owner chimes in that if he is walking out the door, then he is quitting and that's that. The AP tells him to duck off and turns to stare at me. He glares and basically implies to me, since I was busy today, he should go and see her. His face dropped when I told him she was at home recovering from an ending attempt. His face dropped and he stopped talking for a minute. You could see he still cared. You could see that he missed her. In my opinion, the one thing he needed most out of her was the fact that she couldn't see his faults. She couldn't see the gambling, the alcoholism, the fact that he wasn't a good family man because he was wrecking his family, tearing down his wife constantly at home and in private. He turned and walked out the doors. He didn't look back. Went through the rest of the meeting without much attention. I was the last things to be aimed. Sitting down with the old owner, he mentioned severance packages for the other layoffs. Owner states that since he walked out, he wouldn't get a package. I stop and asked him to extend the package to him, as he does have 3 kids. I feel very content about everything as it has played out so far, and I don't feel punishing his kids would make me feel very good. I just tell the owner to ask the lawyer to be sure to tell him who helped him out there. Rest of the day has been a whirlwind of talking to customers and employees. It was kind of fun to get back into the old job. This weekend, I'm spending it with my 2 little ones. We are going to have some quality time together. I can't wait. I did get a phone call from his wife, who proceeded to tell me that they are moving, finally, to get away from the horrible people who are trying to wreck his life. I laugh and wish her the best in life, and then hang up. It's been a crazy day. Never in a million years would I have thought my story would turn out like this. Hopefully this is the last story I have to share with everyone. I feel at peace, and I hope I can start to put this all behind me. I'll still be around, but I think right now I need to make it about the kids. And with some form of justice served, I actually feel like I can start to move on and put it all behind me. Update. So a little bit of a rant here. I swear it gets more twisted all the time. Long story short, I was sent a message from my good friend, the AP. It was opened before I realized who it was from. Lo and behold, he informs me that 2 weeks after the wedding, the ex went and decided to do a special dress showing for the AP with her wedding dress on. I asked the ex about it. All she did was cry and say, "I can never say I'm sorry enough." Not going to lie, that one made me sick. I can't understand why marry someone when you are cheating on them. Why spend so much time and money on such a farce? Tens of thousands of dollars to stand before family and friends and God and lie. You didn't show me respect, honor, and there was no truth to anything. To me, this is right up there with screwing around on your wedding day. Anyways, that was about a week ago. Yesterday, I went to our old storage unit. She was supposed to get her stuff out a month ago. When I opened the door, what's this? Is that her wedding dress? Well, apparently she wants to sell it. Well, normally I'm all for selling old stuff we wouldn't use ever again. But I couldn't let someone new get married in that crime against marriage. So I took it home and proceeded to invite the ex over to celebrate. She showed up 30 minutes later. Then she saw her wedding dress in the fire pit. I offered her the chance to set it on fire herself. She surprised me here. She took the match and lit it up. Public safety concern. Bridal gowns burn fast. The gasped, I'm sure. She cried for a while after that. She spent the night in my bed and I slept on the couch. We had a long talk that night. She can't believe she's done the things she has. Neither can I. It felt good to see her burn the dress. At first she was mad I would do this, but I think it might give her some of the closure she needs. For myself, I'm still very disgusted by the whole thing. There is no future for us, I know that. But mine feels pretty good.
And our second story.
My fiancé cheated on me, so I got my revenge. My fiancé of 7 years left me right when my, at the time, business was going down, 6 months before our wedding. I have to add that I was obese. She met me when I was fat, and I was fat throughout the relationship. She never stopped complaining about my weight and would always go on putting me down by saying how she previously dated very fit guys. The day she left, she brought up how she was never attracted to me physically, and with my business going down, she didn't feel that I had a future. A month after the breakup, I found out that she was cheating on me with one of my regular clients, wealthy, for at least a year. For the next 3 to 4 months, I experienced pain and sadness as I had never experienced before. Then anger kicked in, and with it came an extreme desire to get revenge. I'm a very hands-on individual, and I see acquiring absolute knowledge as the most important way to achieve results. So, I went on a mission to educate myself as best I could around fitness and apply it to myself so I could change my physique. To make a long story short, I became obsessed with fitness, and in 3 years, I managed to drop from 450 pounds and over 55% body fat to 200 pounds and a lean 7% with a solid physique. Mind you, all that time she was completely unaware of what I was doing and what I had achieved. At the end of the 3rd year, I moved to a different country. I had closed down the business, and I took the decision to seek a better future elsewhere. After a few months living overseas, I was contacted by a major newspaper from my home country and was asked to give an interview that would go in an article for young immigrants. Little did I know that the picture that I was providing them would end up being on the cover of that newspaper. I was tagged on social media, and people that hadn't seen me for so long were in disbelief. The word spread until it fell into my ex's ears. Apparently, she went and bought the newspaper, and a common friend that was around got to witness her reactions. She literally had her jaw drop to the floor. She kept asking how this was possible and if it was a real photo. Later on, I've heard from friends that she was complaining to everyone that knew us. I'm planning to compete in fitness within the next year or so. So yes, I'll be sending her a signed photo, although I'm well and truly over her. Second revenge in progress. As soon as I moved to the new country, I met a girl and fell madly in love with her. I hadn't been in a relationship since the previous breakup because of trust issues, and because I was way too focused on my fitness to go on chasing girls. I've met her through a relative, and she appeared perfect and a person that I could trust with my feelings again. It took some reassurance from her side for that to happen. Very soon I started seeing a future together and went into a serious relationship full on. She wasn't the easiest person to be around. She was very judgmental, immature, OCD, possibly BPD, had trouble expressing her feelings openly, and had a very obscure view towards relationships, marriage, and kids. I was very pro-marriage and kids. It was her first serious relationship, and that didn't make things easier. For all the negatives, she had some great positives, and that's why I was sticking with her. She could be the sweetest and most caring woman she wanted to be. Anyways, the relationship ended abruptly after 4 years when I proposed to her, and she couldn't bring herself to say yes to me. Never got a no, but instead what I got was a list of all my negatives thrown in my face. At the top of the list was the fact that I'm new to the country. I wasn't established, meaning that I didn't own a house and my bank account wasn't big enough. She even went on to say that if I was to lose my job, which was a decent job in corporate, I would have a very hard time finding another one, and all the responsibilities would fall onto her. That girl rejected me on so many levels that it was not even funny. This breakup was hands down the most painful of my life. My soul got ripped in half, and being away from a support system, family and friends, made it even harder. It was brutal. Things were so bad that I experienced severe physical pain, lost the sense of time for several months, and became extremely depressed. At a point in this nightmare, I passed my breaking point and went through a massive and very sudden personality change. I disposed of my old self and became someone else. I made a promise to myself that I would achieve career goals that normal people would consider impossible. And with that, I will get my revenge. A year and a half later, I've significantly increased my income, bought an apartment in a good area, the car and motorcycle I've always wanted. I've got 2 companies in the making. One in the consultancy field and one in the tech field. The tech one received a very high valuation not too long ago, and we aim to grow it very large. I've met amazing and very successful people, and made good friends with them. And most importantly, I have no intention whatsoever to stop here. Revenge is not served yet to the full extent, but I know that it is a cold platter, and this doesn't bother me. Apart from all that, I have to say that I cannot even describe how extremely grateful I am for these 2 women. Their rejection and the pain they gifted me with made me a much better person and pushed me to explore and extend the limits of what I'm capable of achieving. They opened my eyes and provided me with the fuel to go about doing that.
Thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want to support me, please subscribe.